The air was cool and crisp on the eve of the millennium. The whole world was buzzing with excitement for the future. But for Ethan, the night held a different kind of anticipation. As a biologist specializing in xenobiology at the Houston Space Center, Ethan had been briefed on a potential close encounter due to occur in a remote part of the Nevada desert. Officially, it was to be a simple meteor shower viewing event, but the whispers among his colleagues suggested otherwise. Under the blanket of night, the desert was vast and quiet, with only the occasional rustle of wind sweeping across the sand. Ethan, equipped with his night vision binoculars, scanned the skies. Suddenly, a brilliant streak of light cut across the heavens, brighter and closer than any ordinary meteor. As it approached the ground, it slowed unnaturally, and Ethan's heart raced with the realization that he was witnessing an extraterrestrial craft landing. He approached the site cautiously. There, bathed in the glow of the remaining embers of its descent, was a sleek silver spaceship, unlike any human-made craft. The hatch opened, and she stepped out. Ariella, though he would only learn her name later. Her skin shimmered like opalescent scales under Earth's moon, and her eyes, large and luminous, reflected the stars above. Ethan, though trained for unpredictable encounters, was utterly mesmerized. 2. The kiss. Ethan introduced himself, and despite the language barrier, the universal language of gestures and expressions bridged their communication. Ariella seemed just as fascinated by him as he was by her. They toured the landing site, with Ethan explaining Earth's flora and fauna through gestures and drawings. The night grew older, and under the celestial canopy, an unspoken connection blossomed between them. Driven by impulse and the surreal beauty of the moment, Ethan leaned in and kissed Ariella. It was a soft, exploratory kiss, filled with the wonder of two vastly different beings connecting. Ariella responded with a gentle curiosity, her own customs apparently not dissuading such an exchange. 3. The surprise. As the first light of dawn painted the horizon in hues of orange and pink, Ariella gestured towards the ship. She retrieved something small and carefully wrapped. Returning to Ethan, she unfolded the bundle before him, revealing a tiny creature that resembled both of them. It was their child, somehow conceived in a miraculous, inexplicable alien process overnight. Ethan's mind raced with scientific impossibilities and wonders. The baby had his eyes and her luminescent skin. Ariella explained through a series of intricate gestures and expressions that in her culture, the exchange of profound affection could initiate the creation of life, a concept Ethan struggled to comprehend within his earthbound scientific reasoning. 4. The decision. As the sun rose fully, casting long shadows across the desert, Ethan faced a decision. His life was here, grounded in human reality and responsibilities, yet before him stood a new, tangible connection to the cosmos. A family, if he dared to accept it. With a mixture of awe and trepidation, Ethan looked at Ariella and their newborn. The implications were monumental, not just personally, but potentially for all of humanity. As they stood together, the alien ship quiet and unassuming in the background, Ethan realized that his life had changed forever. As the chapter closes, Ethan must navigate his role not only as a scientist, but as a partner to an alien and a father to a child who represents a bridge between worlds. As the first rays of the sun touched the silver hull of the alien craft, casting long geometric shadows on the desert sand, Ethan found himself standing at the threshold of a new reality. With Ariella's hand in his, he felt the weight of the extraordinary choices before him. They needed to move. The site of the landing, though remote, wouldn't stay undiscovered for long. The authorities would soon arrive, and with them, questions and demands Ethan wasn't ready to answer. They ventured deeper into the desert, Ariella leading them to a secluded cave that Ethan had never noticed before on his many trips to the area. Inside, the space expanded into a hidden oasis, vibrant with alien flora that Ariella had begun to cultivate. The air was alive with soft, luminescent particles that provided nourishment to the plants. It was clear that this was not just a hiding place. It was a makeshift home. Ariella, with an innate sense of her surroundings, began to teach Ethan how to interact with the environment. She showed him how to harvest the glowing fruits, which filled him with a warmth and energy he had never experienced. As they worked side by side, their child, cradled in a floating orb of light, cooed and giggled, reaching out with tiny hands towards the shimmering leaves. Ethan was amazed by how quickly the baby grew, displaying new behaviors and mimicking their actions. It was evident that the child was a blend of human and alien physiology, adapting rapidly to both environments. This unique blend posed countless scientific questions, yet Ethan found his focus drifting from the scientific to the personal. His connection with Ariella deepened, and his paternal instincts grew stronger each day. But the outside world did not remain oblivious. One evening, as the sky turned a fiery red with the setting sun, a drone buzzed overhead, too high to see with the naked eye but not beyond Ariella's senses. She sensed its scanning beams, sweeping the area in methodical arcs. They were being searched for, and it was only a matter of time before they would be found. Ariella, understanding the stakes, took the initiative. She led Ethan and the baby to another part of the cave, where the walls were lined with crystals that hummed with an unseen energy. Touching one of the crystals, she opened a portal, a rippling, shimmering door that seemed to lead to another place, or perhaps another time. She explained that it was a gateway to her world, a sanctuary from the impending human intrusion. Ethan hesitated at the brink. Going through the portal meant leaving everything he knew behind, his career, his Earth, his entire way of life. But the alternative was to expose his new family to a world unprepared for their existence, and potentially hostile. As the drone returned, its mechanical whir growing louder, Ethan made his decision. With Ariella by his side and their child nestled between them, he stepped through the portal into the unknown, ready to embrace whatever lay beyond as a new family united, not just by affection, but by the shared courage of stepping into the unknown together. As Ethan, Ariella, and their child emerged on the other side of the portal, they found themselves in an environment that defied human understanding. The landscape was a vast, undulating field of what appeared to be soft, glowing moss that stretched to the horizon, beneath a sky swirling with vibrant hues of violet and soft yellow. Structures, resembling giant luminescent fungi, towered above, casting gentle shadows over the iridescent ground. Ethan was awestruck. Every breath he took was filled with a sweet, energizing air, and even the ground beneath his feet seemed to pulse with life, responding to his touch with soft, musical notes. Ariella, sensing his overwhelm, took his hand and guided him and their baby toward one of the towering structures. Inside, the structure was alive with movement. The walls throbbed gently with a heartbeat of their own, and the air was filled with floating orbs of light that seemed to communicate through intricate patterns of color and movement. Ariella introduced Ethan to her people through a series of elaborate gestures and emissions of light from her own body, which were mimicked by the orbs. The aliens were unlike any form of life Ethan had ever imagined. They communicated not through sounds, but through changes in color, light intensity, and patterns. They welcomed him warmly, embracing him and his family into their community with a celebration that was a feast for the senses. Foods that changed flavor as you ate them, music that you could feel in your bones, and dances that made the air around the dancers shimmer with energy. As days turned into weeks, Ethan began to learn their ways. He discovered that their technology was based not on electronics, but on a form of bioengineering that was completely organic and harmonious with their environment. Buildings grew and repaired themselves. Vehicles were living creatures that adapted to their riders, and even their clothes were symbiotic organisms that responded to their wearers' needs. Meanwhile, their child thrived in this alien world, growing at a pace that suggested a lifespan far beyond human norms. It became clear that their child was something new, a bridge between two vastly different biologies, embodying the potential for a union between the species. This revelation brought Ethan not just joy, but a profound responsibility. He documented everything, learning from Ariella and her people, understanding that one day, the knowledge might help integrate their worlds. Despite the peace and beauty of Ariella's world, Ethan couldn't shake the pull of Earth and the life he had left behind. He discussed with Ariella the possibility of returning, not to stay, but to bridge the gap between the two civilizations. After much deliberation, they decided that they would open the portal again, not just for themselves but as ambassadors, hoping to forge a connection that would benefit both their peoples. Ethan began preparing, mentally and physically, for the challenges of returning to Earth. He knew the world he was going back to was vastly different from the one he had left, and he would need all the knowledge and wisdom he had gained to navigate the uncertain waters ahead. The decision made, Ethan, Ariella, and their rapidly maturing child stepped through the portal once more, emerging into the stark contrast of the Nevada desert. The sun was setting, painting the sky in fiery hues, a reminder of the planet's raw, untamed beauty. Ethan took a moment to acclimate, feeling the gritty sand under his feet, so different from the soft, living surfaces of Ariella's world. They were not unprepared. Ariella had brought devices crafted by her people, small, luminous orbs designed to facilitate communication between humans and her species. These orbs could translate their light-based language into human speech and vice versa, a technological marvel that Ethan hoped would bridge the gap between the two worlds. Their arrival, however, did not go unnoticed. The government, having monitored the area since Ethan's disappearance, quickly detained them. Surrounded by armed agents and scientific experts, Ethan felt the tension of fear and fascination from the humans around them. Inside a secure facility, under the harsh glare of interrogation lights, Ethan introduced Ariella and their child. He explained the peaceful nature of their visit and their hope to share knowledge and culture. Skepticism ran high among the officials, but the child, with its innocent mixed features, softened their demeanor. It was a living proof of the possibilities that lay in cooperation between the two species. Days of negotiations followed. Ethan acted as mediator, using the orbs to translate complex concepts and emotions. Gradually, the barriers began to crumble. The officials were particularly intrigued by the organic technologies Ariella described, seeing potential for advancements in medicine, energy, and environmental restoration. As trust grew, Ethan and Ariella were allowed to demonstrate some of their technology. They started with the healing capabilities of their organic devices, which could mend injuries by promoting rapid cellular regeneration. The demonstration was a success, significantly forwarding their cause. The breakthrough came when Ariella invited the Earth scientists to visit their world through the portal. With strict protocols in place, a select group was allowed to cross over. What they saw and experienced over several days transformed their understanding and appreciation of Ariella's culture and technology. They returned as advocates for a collaborative future. Energized by this success, Ethan proposed the establishment of an exchange program where representatives from both worlds could learn from each other. This program would not only include scientists, but also artists, educators, and leaders, aiming to weave together the fabric of both societies into a richer tapestry. As preparations for the first official exchange began, Ethan took a moment to reflect on the changes. He watched his child, a symbol of unity, playing with both human and alien children in a specially designed interaction area. The laughter, free of any prejudice or fear, filled him with hope. Ethan realized that the true measure of his success wouldn't be in the grand declarations or treaties signed, but in these small moments where two vastly different cultures could find common ground and look towards a shared future with optimism. As the exchange program took shape, the first group of Earth's representatives prepared for their journey to Ariella's world. They were a diverse team, scientists eager to explore alien biotechnology, artists inspired by new forms of expression, and diplomats tasked with forging long-term alliances. Each carried the weight of potential history in their hands, aware that their actions would set the tone for future interactions. On the alien planet, the Earth team was met with a ceremony that was a vivid display of color and light, showcasing the welcoming nature of Ariella's people. The visitors were enthralled by the harmonious blend of technology and ecology, a stark contrast to Earth's often discordant relationship with its environment. The alien hosts shared their advancements openly, from their methods of harnessing energy from the local fauna and flora to their architectural practices that grew structures from the ground up, alive and self-sustaining. Back on Earth, Ariella's visit was marked by similar milestones. She spoke at the United Nations, a historic speech translated by the luminescent orbs, where she extended an invitation to the nations of Earth to consider a new way of living, one that embraced technology not as a means to dominate nature, but to coexist with it. Her speech was broadcast worldwide, sparking debates and discussions on every continent. In the weeks that followed, the exchange program evolved into a broader cultural initiative. Exhibitions of alien art and technology were set up in major cities around the world. People queued for hours to interact with the organic tech devices, marveling at clothes that adjusted to body temperature and mood, and vehicles that were attuned to the thoughts of their riders. Amidst this whirlwind of activity, Ethan and Ariella worked tirelessly. They set up educational programs where human children and alien younglings could learn together, facilitated by technology that allowed them to communicate seamlessly. These programs were not just about sharing knowledge, but about building a foundation of mutual respect and understanding from a young age. Despite the widespread enthusiasm, there were challenges. Some factions resisted the rapid changes, fearful of losing their cultural identity or wary of the aliens' influence on Earth. Protests and debates became frequent, and security concerns grew. Ethan found himself often defending the merits of the initiative, arguing that the benefits, sustainable technologies, new medical treatments, enhanced understanding of the universe, far outweighed the risks. However, it was a disaster that tested the strength of this new alliance. A catastrophic earthquake struck a major city, and both human and alien technologies were put to the test. Rescue teams used alien organic tech to stabilize crumbling structures and to heal the injured with unprecedented efficiency. The success of these efforts helped to quell much of the dissent, demonstrating the practical benefits of the alliance. As stability returned, Ethan watched his child play with friends from both worlds, their laughter a testament to the potential of this new era. He realized that every day was a step towards something extraordinary, the crafting of a shared future, born out of curiosity, forged in challenges, and celebrated in the unity of diverse beings. This was not just cooperation, it was the creation of a new kind of family, one that spanned stars and bridged worlds. The successful collaboration during the earthquake rescue efforts marked a turning point. The world began to see the aliens not as otherworldly invaders, but as partners and saviors. The integration of alien technology into daily life became more accepted and even expected. Cities started to adopt architectural innovations that were more in harmony with nature, and public health saw significant advancements due to alien medical technology. Ethan and Ariella continued to be at the forefront of this integration. They established a bi-planetary institute for technology and culture exchange, located in the heart of one of Earth's major cities, but with a direct portal to Ariella's planet. The institute became a hub of innovation, education, and diplomacy. It offered programs that combined earthly and alien knowledge, which attracted students and scholars from across the globe. As their child grew, so did his role as a symbol of unity. Now a young adult, he was uniquely equipped to navigate both worlds, possessing an innate understanding of both human and alien perspectives. He took on a more public role, engaging in diplomatic missions and serving as a living bridge between the two cultures. His efforts were crucial in smoothing over lingering tensions and promoting deeper understanding. In one of his speeches, broadcast across both worlds, he spoke of the shared dreams and common goals of both peoples, a sentiment that resonated deeply with many. He highlighted projects that had brought tangible benefits, such as the restoration of Earth's damaged ecosystems with the help of alien ecological techniques and the exploration of new parts of the galaxy using combined technologies. Meanwhile, cultural exchanges flourished. Earth's music, literature, and art found a new audience on Ariella's planet, while alien expressions of art and entertainment captivated human audiences. Festivals that celebrated both earthly and alien heritage became regular events, symbolizing the growing cultural symbiosis. The pinnacle of this new era came when the United Planetary Forum was established, a governing body that included representatives from both Earth and Ariella's world. The Forum was not just a political entity, but a testament to the potential for peace and mutual prosperity. Its first decree was to ensure that the sharing of technology and cultural wealth would be equitable, and that all discoveries would be used to enhance life across both planets. Ethan, looking back over the decades, felt a profound sense of accomplishment and hope. He saw a future where his child and the children of both worlds could grow up without the shadows of fear and prejudice. The last vestiges of doubt and resistance had faded, replaced by a collective enthusiasm for the shared journey ahead. In the twilight of his career, Ethan received one of the highest honors bestowed by the United Planetary Forum, recognizing his contributions to interstellar peace and cooperation. Standing on the podium, he saw faces from both Earth and beyond, all united in their diversity and their common aspirations. As the ceremony ended, the crowd stepped outside into a garden that epitomized the fusion of earthly and alien landscapes. The setting sun cast a warm glow over the peaceful assembly, a symbol of the dusk of old fears and the dawn of new hopes. Here, under the mingling lights of two very different worlds, the promise of a united future seemed not only possible, but inevitable. Ethan's journey had begun with a simple, unexpected act of connection, a kiss under the stars. It had led to a legacy of unity that would endure as long as the stars themselves shone down on the multitude of worlds that now looked to each other not as strangers, but as family.